I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Literary Apothecary, and welcome back to another episode of Books My Boyfriend Gave Me. This is the video gaming series edition. Today we're going to be talking about Ascendance by Jason M. Hough. This is technically, according to Goodreads, Gears of War book number 6 in this series. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars, and I'll talk about why in just a minute, and I'll talk about why I said technically book 6 in just a minute. But first, let me give you a spoiler-free summary of what Ascendance is all about. Now, you might notice that this is written by a different person than the first 5 books. The first 5 books in this series were written by Karen Travis. This is written by Jason M. Hough, so keep that in mind when we get to my review part of this video. Our spoiler-free summary. This is the prequel to video game number 5, beginning immediately after video game 4. Following Reyna Diaz's death at the hands of the Swarm in game 4, Kate seals her mother's tomb and swears revenge. But First Minister Jim promises that their crimes are forgiven if they will swear loyalty to Hough. Kate rebels and leaves to save her family of, quote, outsiders who in previous books were called the Stranded. Marcus Phoenix joins her. This is a much older Marcus Phoenix. And while they are in Kate's village, they discover an overwhelming swarm, which in previous books were considered the hordes. So, like I said, I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. While the writing was technically good, it was well written, the book felt to me much more like a companion to the games and kind of a new series instead of a continuation of this series. And this is why I said at the beginning of this video that this was technically, according to Goodreads, book 6 in this series. To me, it felt more like a new sub-series, and because we got all new characters in this book. We had all new terms like the swarms and this First Minister Jin. We get new places. There's references to people and events that happened in the video games but not the books. We don't get really any references to what's happened in the previous books. We have some of our, main characters from the other books, like Marcus and Baird and Cole. Marcus, they're all much older now. We have kind of a new generation of Gears coming in. Marcus, it's hinted that Marcus is married to Anya, but Anya is no longer there. The way that they talk about Anya and her armor makes me believe that Anya has been killed, but we don't know how or when or what happened. Marcus and Anya had a son that we meet in this book, JD, and that's really the only hints that we get as to where this book takes place in the timeline of the Gears of War. So it deals much more with events that happened in video game number 4 and hardly, nothing that happened in the previous books. So it felt much more like a side series, companion novels to the game series than a continuation of this book series. I thought it took me 5 books to learn the other characters and get to really sympathize with them. And now we have all of these new characters that we're supposed to care about, but I felt like we were just thrown into this world, and I didn't feel like I could connect with any of the new characters in a way that the book was asking us to. And so it also felt a bit like some of the characters like Kate and Marcus were thrown together to see how they would handle the situation, to see what they would do. And maybe this is explained in the books better, or in the game series better, but it just felt like there were a lot of loose threads that needed to be put together that weren't that far. So like I said, I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. I thought the writing itself was technically done well, but the execution could have been a lot better. And or the advertising for this book needed to be different. If this is truly supposed to be a companion to the games and kind of a new series on itself, then Goodreads needs to go back and edit its advertising to say this is a brand new series and not a continuation of the previous series by Karen Travis. So that's my review for Ascendance by Jason M. Hough. Obviously continuing in this series. I've started book 7. I'm about 30% through in that book. And it feels a lot more of the same kind that this book was, which is why I thought maybe it should be a new series in itself instead of just a continuation of the previous series. If you've read this series before, let me know in the comments below what you thought, if your thinking was the same lines as mine. If you've played this whole series before, let me know what you thought in the comments below. As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below. Keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.